Welcome back to the show. Well, Capital Pride is bringing you Winter Pride events. So many events happening throughout the city and in conjunction with Winterlude as well. Not an exciting start to the Rideau Canal, but still an exciting start to Winterlude in itself. And these activities, of course, are for the entire family. I am joined by Toby Whitfield. He is the Executive Director of Capital Pride.
Welcome,
Toby.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you back. So when did you guys start thinking about doing something in the winter to make this, a little bit of a collaboration with Winterlude and that celebration?
We had one event just before the pandemic, and then it sort of went virtual. And so we started conversations, I would say, in the fall, and really started figuring out what it would look like again this year. And we sort of brought back Winter Pride in a very different way than it was even before the pandemic, in a bigger way, with lots of new programming and events sort of in lots of parts of the city this year.
I mentioned the canal. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the best weather. We were supposed to have, this ice parade, Capital Ice Parade. That's not necessarily going to happen along the canal, but we're still doing a big celebration, aren't we?
Absolutely. The weather's not been cooperating this last few weeks, has it? So yeah, we've got a big event on Sunday at City Hall with the Rink of Dreams. Families, kids, community, everyone's invited to come. We've got live music, DJs, drag performances, free hot chocolate, all kinds of stuff happening. So not quite what we were thinking, but I think it's going to be a great event all the same. So that's in the afternoon.
So drag performance, and I understand some of them on skates. You have some pretty good, talented skaters out there?
We just had a couple of smaller events this past weekend in Vanier and at Lansdowne, where we've got some great local drag performers who were brave enough to put on some skates, and I'll have to say they were quite impressive.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know you also had a big celebration at the Ottawa 67s game.
Yeah.
We talked about it here on the show, but just like to get your feedback. What was the response like?
It was great. We were there meeting with folks as they were coming in, and we had a great local drag performer sing the national anthem.
Nice.
Of course, the 67s were in Pride jerseys, and it was a really great event. There was lots of great families that I think just had a really great time, and we didn't win, but all the same, the game was great.
I'm very familiar with drag performances. I've actually judged some in the past, but for those watching now that aren't familiar, you've got to just explain the experience and the atmosphere and what it's like, because it's so much fun, isn't it?
I think you're right. I think drag performers have a way of really bringing the energy to whatever room or whatever space, whether it's on the ice or on a stage or at a local bar or wherever they are, a really great positive energy. And really it's all about creating awareness, building acceptance. We've got some drag story times this week that are really all about, connecting with kids on self-love, all of those really important things.
Acceptance and diversity and
So I think we've got a really amazing local drag performer community. And if you haven't experienced, haven't seen some drag, I would say come out this weekend. We've got performances along Spark Street. We've got City Hall, and they're in a few places all across the city this weekend, and it's a great opportunity to come and experience it.
It's interesting too when you see a performance. It seems to be a lot of competition, right? And they really thrive under that under that space. But as a community, they really come together and support each other at the same time and cheer each other on, right?
And of course, in the summer we have our big annual Capital Pride pageant, where it really is a competition. But on the stage, people really do support each other. They want to really elevate everyone's performances and art together.
I'd like to talk about the Progress Pride flag, beautiful 30-foot flag. Tell me about the idea behind it and the inspiration behind it.
I mean, really, it speaks to the roots of Pride as a movement, and the actual Progress flag. We've started, I think, using it even before the pandemic, as many 2S LGBTQ2+ organizations have. And it speaks to both the progress, but also looks forward with the arrows, sort of where we need to go as a community, in thinking about BIPOC communities, trans communities, and then, of course, the broader 2S LGBTQ2 community as well. So that'll be on display during our events this weekend, and that's what we also fly at City Hall in the summer and that sort of thing.
I know, obviously, disappointment in not being on the canal, because you were going to invite the public to come and skate in the parade. I mean, same idea at City Hall, inviting the public to come down. And really, I guess it's just a big party.
It's going to be great. We've got some great DJs. It'll be great. We've got a big sound system coming in, so I think folks will have a lot of fun. Of course, it's free. I should mention that too. So people can drop in for an hour, come for the whole time, whatever they'd like.
You mentioned on Spark Street, so there's a few things happening on Spark Street. You've got the Rainbow Ice Mosaics. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, so I should say, first of all, Spark Street's full for Winter Pride, but also Winterlude programming. So folks coming down, we've got some programming, but of course there's the big ice sculptures and all sorts of things. So we've got a big rainbow ice mosaic. Kids can come and choose their favorite color and help build the actual colorful part of the rainbow.
So they get to add to it.
So we'll have the sort of the basic rainbow ice carving there, and folks can come and help build the the colorful part, which will be quite fun. Yeah.
I understand you have a silent disco going on as well.
We've got that in the evening on Saturday, and we've also got some DJs in other parts of Spark Street as well. And then we've got drag performances. We've got some family pride programming on the street. So lots of happening. And as people are kind of coming in and out of our programming, they'll find vendors and beaver tails and hot chocolate and all those other things that folks love during Winterlude as well.
Toby, it's Black History Month as well, and you do have a highlight around the theme.
We do, absolutely.
Right?
So at the National Gallery this Friday, we're hosting our Queer Black Excellence Showcase. So we've got artists and performers coming in from different parts of the country, singers, spoken word artists, DJs, and really it's just a moment to sort of reflect and recognize Black History Month and highlight some of the great Canadian queer talent that we have in many parts of the country.
Toby, we do have some time, so I'd like to talk a little bit about sort of some of the obstacles, some of the hurdles that the LGBTQ plus community is still struggling with. How can allies help more out there? What are some of the things you recommend?
Yeah, I think often when we're talking with our programming, it's an opportunity to think about why we do our programming, why we do Winter Pride, why we do our summer program. I think this week alone we're seeing, unfortunately, lots of really negative, hate-fueled comments on our social media and targeting some of our performers and things like that. I think it's a reminder that as much as we, in Ottawa, and across the region, people celebrate and join us in the parade. We still need to challenge these kind of hateful comments, and we still have work to do to build a more inclusive, welcoming society. And at the end of the day, that's what Pride is about. It's about a space for everyone, for the 2S LGBTQ2 plus community, but actually the whole community. I think the other important thing for us when we do our programming is that it's creating opportunities for artists to come and, we pay all of our artists. It's creating opportunities for volunteers to meet new friends, to gain valuable skills. And so there's lots of different parts of the festival and the work that we do behind the scenes that might not be obvious that really is that's all happening at the same time, that's helping to build a really great community. I think if folks are looking and thinking about ways they want to be involved in support, I would say come and join an event. Come and visit for the first time.
All those events available on the website as well, the entire schedule.
Yeah,
we'll be right back after this.